How's it going, everybody? The next adventure is about to begin. You know, the main reason I do a video every day is that I want people just, those who watch my channel all the time sort of understand how I got from point A to point B. And you can actually sort of see a progression in who I am and where I go. The thing I always want to focus on is on-the-ground reporting. And sometimes not possible, so I'll be hanging out, but I always try to do some video talking about the news issues that matter most to me. The next big adventure, I'm flying to Vegas. As you are watching this video, I'm probably just landing because the largest hacker convention in the world is taking place in just a couple days, and it's called DEFCON. And I believe this is the 25th year, so a lot of people are really excited. There are a lot of events around DEFCON, like Black Hat, B-Sides, and many, many other things. There's going to be some shooting guns, 3D printers. It's going to be a lot of shenanigans, and so I'm going to be meeting up with some of the craziest, some of the most serious hackers in the world to talk about real issues that affect us. So there should be really interesting technology developments, there should be really crazy characters, and this is all going to be happening in Las Vegas, in a big desert. So it should be particularly interesting. But there's a few concepts I want to prep you for before I get to Vegas. So the first, I think the most important things that you need to understand are the hats. Yes, not my beanie, hats. So in the hacker world, there is 3 kinds of hats: white hat, gray hat, and black hat. And these, I'll explain what these mean. A white hat hacker, somebody who wears the white hat, it means they typically work within the confines of the establishment. They're on the up and up, maybe working for governments or security companies. They're finding exploits and hacks and trying to fix things. That's sort of the simple way to look at it. Then you have black hat hackers. Black hat hackers are selfish, we'll put it that way. They're doing things for themselves. They steal credit card information. They're identity thieves. They tend to do things for the highest bidder. They're kind of considered the bad guys. In between that, you have gray hat hackers, and this is where you tend to get hacktivists, groups like Anonymous, Telecomics, and other hacker groups that are doing things for political reasons that they believe are to be good, and many people like. They're not necessarily for selfish reasons, but they could be, and they sometimes cross the boundaries of what is legal and what isn't. So those are 3 kinds of hackers. There's a lot of jokes about it because, depending on your perspective, a white hat hacker, someone working for the government, might be the bad guy. In which case, someone once told me, Tim, there's no white hats, there's no black hats. There's only green hats. Money. Because at the end of the day, you might say that someone's a good guy, but they're really just selling secrets and hacks and exploits to the highest bidder, acting like they're the good guy, acting like they're within the confines of the law, but they're really just doing it for money. So the issues are particularly complicated. But we have seen some really interesting things in the past. Car hacking demonstrations. This is one of the highest profile incidents in a long time, where these 2 hackers demonstrated how they could remotely take over a vehicle on the highway. It's really crazy and scary stuff. And it got a lot of criticism for it because they took over a car on the highway. And in the past several years, with the height of Anonymous, the political activism, WikiLeaks and all that, there was a lot going on in Vegas at DEFCON. It was very, very political. So I know a lot of people might have an opinion on what it's really like there. Some people might tell you it's just a boring convention like any other convention. And I gotta say, last year was relatively tame. But when I first heard about this convention, my buddy was talking to me and he said, Tim, have you ever seen the movie Constantine? Okay, if you haven't, it's Keanu Reeves plays a detective in the battle of heaven versus hell. And there's a bar where all the angels and all the demons meet. And it's like Switzerland. You can't fight there, okay? You can go there for a drink, everyone talks, no fighting. And so my buddy said, at DEFCON and Black Hat and these other events, you've got government recruiters, you've got the NSA, FBI, you've got government agents working in cybersecurity and things like that. And then you've got the bad guys. You've got carters, you've got identity thieves, general mischievous hackers who just kind of screw with things for fun. And they're all meeting under the same roof, having drinks together, laughing together. Some of these people don't know who the other person is. They just meet someone interesting and they have a conversation and they laugh. And then when they leave that convention, they're each other's enemies. Aside from that, there's been a lot of other interesting things that have happened. So I don't know if this was last year. No, this was a couple years ago. The DEFCON was happening at the Rio. So that's off strip. It's where Penn and Teller were doing their thing. I don't know if they still are. Somebody put on a jumpsuit, took a dolly with an ATM machine, wheeled it into the casino with everybody watching, with cameras everywhere, plugged in the ATM machine, and it was a trap. Tourists would walk by and put their credit cards in, and it would steal their credit card information. Somebody had the balls to bring a fake ATM, like the balls and the money, to bring a fake ATM machine into a casino in Vegas, and they pulled it off, and people's information was being stolen. So I truly feel sorry for the tourists who come down to Vegas and have no idea what's going to be happening for the next week or so. But there's been a lot of other, I don't know, crazy shenanigans. One year, I guess, they shut the power off to the casino. It's like a great legend that some hacker was able to shut the power off. They also have a thing that's called the Wall of Sheep. Okay, so they are constantly trying to break into your devices, your phones, your computer, whatever. And there's this projector that shows people who have been breached, and it shows the first few letters of your username and password. So you can look up there and see that you've been hacked, that your information's been stolen. They don't reveal your information to the public. It's sort of just, hey, look, we were able to breach your security. Some other things that have happened that relate to this, people set up what's called a femto cell. Okay, so this is basically a fake cell phone tower. People have set up these fake cell phone towers so that your phone will connect to their device before connecting to a cell phone tower so they can start to steal your information. This is like a man-in-the-middle attack. Basically, that means they put themselves between your device and the cell phone tower so they can get all the information that's coming in and out. There's a good potential for getting hacked, especially if you're high profile and everyone knows you're going to show up, but it's a lot of fun. And hopefully, there's a lot of important security talks. There's a lot of talks about civil rights on the internet, things like net neutrality, what rights do we have as individuals, the severity of hacks, and we might learn some things that are truly terrifying. When I went there a few years ago, someone showed us a demonstration of how they could blow up water pumps and nuclear facilities from over 40 miles away using drones. I wouldn't presume to be an expert on all of these things, like these conventions and what's going on in the InfoSec world. I'm a hacker, and my friends are, and I don't focus on this stuff nearly as much as they do. But a friend of mine once told me that when you're looking at conflict around the world, the true conflict, the real front line, it's the cyber war. Right now, there are cyber attacks happening left and right over the internet. And these things can shut down financial institutions, they could shut down water, they could destroy infrastructure and damage the economy. And there's been several high-profile attacks that have done that over the past several years. So as much as people like to imagine that real war is people on the ground shooting at each other, there's a new dynamic here, and that is people on the internet finding ways to disable infrastructure and damage economies. This might be what we bump into. So there's going to be some desert adventure. I'm told that there's going to be a lot of shooting of guns. Yeah, seriously. So that might be interesting. But my goal with this is to bring you on an adventure into these conventions, meet some interesting people, and I guess the last thing I should mention is that there are filming rules at DEF CON because people are very security conscious, so you can't just film whatever you want. You seriously have to have permission from people due to the high-risk nature of the work they do. And this isn't something like, you know, we see activists often say, hey, don't film my face, they'll wear masks. These are people who probably have governments contracting them and might be assassinated. So there are real, very, very serious and immediate security concerns to consider. I think John McAfee, however you pronounce his name, he's the guy who did the antivirus. He's also the bath salts guy. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's a very eccentric dude. And apparently he and his wife are tweeting out that someone just tried to kill him or something. This should be interesting. I don't know. Thanks for listening to what I have to say about this convention, and I hope you're as excited as I am, because I am on a plane right now as you're watching this video, and I'm going to land in Vegas where it's very, very hot, but I'm going to spend most of my time inside casinos. So hopefully we get some great jazz music, some winning of money, not losing of money, but we meet some interesting people who are drunk, having a good time, and I kind of imagine like a Tony Stark vibe. I don't know if you watch the Iron Man movies, but this like eccentric, drinking, gambling, but very, very serious and dangerous line of work. It should be fun either way. So comment below, let me know if there's anything interesting that you want me to check out. Short little video, I guess. Hopefully my explanation was sufficient. If I got anything wrong, forgive me, but I do what I can. Click the like button if you like the video. Subscribe for new videos every single day at 4 p.m. And if you want to support the work that I do, you can go to patreon.com/TimCast. Give whatever you'd like. Give nothing at all. My videos will always be free and available. However, I have just introduced a new exclusive behind-the-scenes feed at minds.com. So that's minds.com/TimCast. And for $10 a month, you can subscribe to sort of a behind-the-scenes feed of photos and clips and whatever I'm able to post. I try to post as much as I can there. So yeah, I encourage it. It's just another way to support my work if you like the work that I do. And all of your support helps me go and cover serious and important issues. So I'll see you in Vegas.